My name is William de Gaudensi, and I'm a financial advisor with MetLife. And I'm the go-to person if you have any questions about the plan, about investments, contributions, etc. Now, Steve just presented a plan that pays you money for taking care of yourself. That's a no-brainer to me, right? You go to the doctor, you get paid. You go to the dentist, you get paid. I think it's a great plan, at least from the financial point of view, right? It's free money. The idea here is to give you a quick overview of the Concordia Retirement Savings Plan. Is anybody here participating in the plan already? Everybody is? Okay, that's great. So this is meaningless because everybody knows how it works. So we are going to we are going to move quickly through the slides, but I would like to take any questions that you have and go into some other details. So everybody participating, who has access to your account online? Nobody has access to the account online? You have access to the account?
I've not set it up. I assume you have.
You haven't set it up? Okay. This basically gives you the website where you need to go to get access to the account. If you need more information, I have business cards on the table. You can email me or call me. The only thing that is not there, because this is a general pamphlet, is the plan number. And the plan number is 1009634-101. 1009634-01. It's very simple. Even if you call the phone number to get the PIN, you can tell the person, you have to do it during the business hours, Monday through Friday, but you can tell the person, you know, stay with me, I need you to coach me through the process. So that person will stay with you. So it's very, very simple, really. But there are great things in there. The things that I like the most is there is a tab that says individual rate of return. So that means that you log in, and in 30 seconds, you put 2 dates, and it will tell you how much money you made or lost during that period. So very quickly, you can say, okay, how am I doing? If you haven't received your statement, you can create a statement also on demand from this date to this date. You can change your beneficiaries. I don't know, that's probably one of the most important things that you should have with the plan is beneficiaries. Anybody has a will here? Okay. Well, I have good news for the rest of the people. You also have a will. The only difference is that these two individuals have determined exactly how the money is going to be distributed when they pass away. The rest is based on the intestacy laws of the state of Illinois, assuming that you live in Illinois. And the problem is that if you don't have beneficiaries, the money will go to the state. Lawyers will take a little bite, 4 or 5%. Why, right? I mean, put beneficiaries there. The intestacy laws in the state of Illinois is 50% goes to your spouse, 50% to your children. That's probably not a good idea, especially if the children are very young. There are 2 things that you cannot do in this website. One is to change your address, and that is because of security reasons. The other one is you cannot change your contributions, the amount of contributions. So, but you have the forms. You can print out the forms and take them to the financial person or the payroll person in charge in your location. You can change your investments every day if you want to. Not that I recommend to do that, but when I started working in Wall Street, with New York Stock Exchange. We had, many years ago, there was no internet. We were able to change the contributions once every 3 months and the investments once a year. Things have changed. Positive, I think it is positive for you, for the investor. So I highly recommend that you get access to your account online. It is your money. It is your money. Keep an eye on it. The other thing is, the other day, as a matter of fact, a participant called me and says, he's good. He's monitoring the account. He says, I don't see my the matching from Concordia. Everybody knows about there is a matching, right? Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to go through that very quickly on the slides. And the reason he looked at the account, he saw the flow of money into the account, and he saw the deposits, but he didn't see the matching. So he called me and says, where is my matching? Something is wrong. So I explained to him that Concordia, the way it does it is after the quarter is completed, then 10 days or 2 weeks later, they deposit the money in the account. And as a matter of fact, I showed him that the money was there. But, you know, sometimes there are mistakes, sometimes innocent things can happen. Keep an eye on your money. There's another thing. Who is participating here in ProManage? Do you know what ProManage is? Yeah. Okay. ProManage, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move very quickly here. So basically the idea of this presentation is to make sure that people dream about retirement, because that gives you incentive to create a plan. The whole idea is to plan. And if you are very young and retirement seems very far away, well, it is easier to start planning today. And if you are really close to retirement, with more reason, you should immediately start planning. And what is the idea of retirement? Retirement is the longest vacation you are going to have. That's what it is. So most retirees want to maintain a standard of living. And in order to do that, you have to have income for the rest of your life. There are people that talk about 80%, there are people that talk about 90%. That's what you need every year until you leave Earth. So think about it. If you are making 50,000 or you are spending 50,000, you need 40, 45,000 every year for the rest of your life. That could be a lot of money, but how can you do that? Well, it's really very simple. You can estimate how much money you need for retirement. You estimate the effect of inflation. You know you shouldn't overestimate Social Security. You get every year a statement indicating how much you are going to get from the Concordia defined benefit plan.
The personal summary of benefits, I'm sorry, I just put some cantaloupe in my mouth, but every year you get that statement that shows you how much you could receive upon retirement. It's a valuable source when you're going through this retirement planning, because there are some retirement planner on our website. You can punch in those numbers and show you where you would end up at a retirement.
The point here, and this is just a study from a general study from Social Security from July 2010, where it says that the average person receives the income that they receive in retirement, 37% come from Social Security, 18% from pension, 30% from earnings, etc. The point on this slide is that whatever you receive from the Concordia defined benefit plan, plus whatever you receive from Social Security, is not going to be 100% of what you need in retirement. So there is some assets that or some income that has to come from your savings. And that's the reason, because one of the starting points is the Concordia Retirement Savings Plan. As you know, the benefits is that the money comes from your paycheck, directly from your paycheck, comes in before taxes. This SECA refers to Self-Employment Compensation Act. If you are self-employed, you need to pay actually double, 15.3% to Social Security and Medicare. You avoid that. Taxes are paid when you withdraw. Now, when you withdraw the money, if you accumulate 100, 200, 300,000, you're not going to pull all the money and put it in your checking account, right? Because it will take you right away to the highest tax bracket. So what you do with these accounts is you manage them in such a way that you limit the amount of taxes you're going to pay. So what is important is how much money ends up in your pocket, not in Washington or Springfield, right? Now, the key here is if you are younger than 59 and a half, besides paying taxes, you may apply a 10% penalty to our friendly IRS. Now, here is the matching contribution. This is the good part of the plan. For every dollar that you put in, they match 50 cents up to 2% of your salary. So if you put 1%, you get 50 cents. If you put, 0.5%. If you put 2%, you get 1%. If you put 4%, you still get 1%. That's the maximum. But if you put 2%, you are getting immediately 50% of that in your account. That's a beauty. There is something that is not on the screen on these slides that is very, very, very important. Vesting means ownership, and whatever you contribute, you own it right away, right? You're vested 100%. But in the Concordia plan, whatever the Concordia has put in for you, you own it 100% right away. So if you were to leave at the end of the year, there is no vesting schedule, you own it right away. And that's a very good feature. This screen basically what it wants to show is that this lady makes around $45,000 a year, so her gross is $1,538. She's putting 3%, and she decides to increase to 6%. So she puts now $46 more into the plan. And the take home went down not 46, it went down only $33. And the reason is the contributions are before taxes. Now, this is very important. If you have the same investments in a regular account, you are paying taxes, and you have these investments in the 403B, this account is growing faster than the other one because you are getting money on an interest on the taxes, and you have the taxes that you paid on the other account. So this account has what is called a compounding effect. Very, very powerful. You will always have more money here than in any other account. Now, having the same investments, of course. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is this money is not a Christmas club. This is retirement money. This is long-term money. So, when you can access this money, you can only access the money if you retire or you terminate your employment with Concordia. There are no hardship distributions here, but you can take loans. Loans are very important because you can get money out of the account very fast and do whatever you need to do. I have no objections with loans, even though Susie Ormond doesn't like them. I don't see any, I don't have any objections. But 2 warnings. If you take a loan and you terminate your employment, the money is due in 30 or 60 days, which means if you have a $2,000, $3,000 loan, you can manage. But if you have a $40,000 loan, that could be very steep, but very difficult. The other thing is you have to be serious with these loans, because if you default in the loan, the IRS will turn around and say, okay, you took 5,000, you defaulted when you owe 3, you need to pay me taxes on the 3,000, and if you are younger than 59 and a half, 10%. So you have to be serious with the loans. But that's the way that you access this money. If you are already employed here, you are already in the system. The only thing you need to do is do a salary deferral, and that's the only way that you can update your contributions. By the way, you can increase, decrease, or stop your contributions at any time. Okay. This screen is oriented, and this is something I'm going to ask you to do for me. When you go back to work tomorrow or Monday, and you see a colleague, usually maybe a new employee, tell them about this plan. You will do them a great favor. I work a lot with teachers, and many times a young teacher comes to me and says, actually from Concordia University, they come and said, my colleague gave me your card to see you, and I don't know why. And I have the opportunity to explain to him or to her how things work and how positive it is for them. And this screen is great for young people because it shows how much money you can have just by a small increase from $20 to $50. You go from 40,000 to 109,000 in 30 years. Of course, there are a lot of assumptions here, but the truth is still embedded there, which is the sooner you start, the better. And we will see another screen. Okay, the other screen is coming next after this one. This one shows how much you can contribute in 2012. From January 1st to December 31st, you can put up to $17,000. If you become 50 years old this year, or you are over 50, you can put $5,500 more. And if you have been working here for 15 years, there is a catch-up contribution of $3,000. This is a beauty. What I don't understand is why Kevin is, all the examples, even if you look at the booklet, the women are the smarter, the men are the dumb. Yeah, if it is Mary or Christy, but it's always a woman. She started at 25, she contributes for only 10 years, the same amount as Kevin. So she put 15,000 in those 10 years, and she has this money, 117,000 when she retires at 65. Kevin started 10 years later, he contributed for 30 years, the same amount of money, $15,000 per every 10 years, so 45,000. In the account balance is only 122, almost the same as hers. So basically, the difference between these two accounts is $25,000, right? This shows also the power of starting earlier. And when I tell people, I say, listen, when you are 25 years old, you don't need to go crazy. You can put $10, $15. Next year, you put 12 more, little by little. To put a little bit of things into perspective, let's assume that a person has a paycheck of, I don't know, $2,000 gross, and puts 2% of the plan. That's $40, right? $40 per paycheck going to the plan, plus 20 more coming from Concordia, $60 into the plan. $40, that's $20 a week. But remember, the take home is not $40. The take home goes down maybe 35, 36, depending on the tax bracket. So at the end, it's $18 a week. Can you save that? It's $2 a day, $2.50 a day. You know, it's looking at a different angle. There are great funds in here. Actually, last year we had a meeting at Concordia. Actually, it was 2010. We went all to St. Louis. they redefine the investments available to you. There are great funds in here. There are a lot of indices. They were, because of the plan grew so much in amount of money that institutions reduced the fees in every fund. So very positive for you guys. So if you decide to go to, let's say, PIMCO, and do your own investment with PIMCO, you're going to pay a lot higher expenses than if you put the money with PIMCO in here. So if you have other investments, keep this in mind, because you will be saving money. In addition to all those mutual funds, there is a fixed annuity. The fixed annuity, usually fixed annuity have restrictions. Here in this plan has no restrictions. So you can put the money there today, you can pull it up tomorrow and put it back the following day. There are no restrictions in terms of getting in and out. The current rate is 2.65. That's a guarantee by MetLife from January 1st to December 31st. Before December 31st, MetLife announces what is going to do the following year. But the minimum guarantee is 2.15. Now, do you have any one-year CD here? How much did you get in one-year CD?
I was at the bank today, it's hysterical.
What was the rate?
I got it in
0.5, 0 point something. I mean, and you have to hug the banker and say, thank you so much, right? 2.65, that's not too bad. But remember, the problem with this account is liquidity. You don't have that money, access to that money, except in the way that I mentioned to you before. The ProManage program, ProManage is a company unrelated to MetLife, unrelated to Concordia. It's an independent company who, what they do is they create portfolios for you. So basically what they have is, the information they have about you is your age, and they see how much money you have in the account, they see how much money you contribute. So they make a lot of assumptions, and they adjust the portfolio for you. They also look at your Social Security. That's fine. Next screen will show you the fees. At the beginning is really pennies, but when you start accumulating $10,000, $20,000, those pennies becomes dollars, and that sometimes concerns me. They rebalance your portfolio once a year, or once every 3 months, I'm sorry. That's very positive. The only thing is you have to remember that you will receive a letter saying you bought this, you sold that. Sometimes people call me and say, what did you do with my portfolio? I didn't do anything. But they do it automatically, okay? They change the allocation of those portfolios if they think it's appropriate. So they do some work for you. And for that work, they charge you 0.1846% per year. So the way it works is, if you have $10,000 at the end of April, they said, okay, 10,000 times 0.1846 divided by 100 and divided by 12, and that's what they are going to charge you that month. Okay. Now, so they can change that, but the maximum they can charge is 0.32. Actually, it used to be 0.32, and it came down because, as I said, the plan became so big that they were able to reduce the fees. Very positive. MetLife charges $30 per year, and they take the money $750 per quarter from your account. Okay. And that's a very reasonable amount. So that's basically it in terms of what the presentation here. You can always go to concordiaplans.org. I'm personally in charge of Northern Illinois. So you have any questions, I'm the person you can call, and I'm really available 24/7. So, well, yeah. One day I was in Phoenix, and the phone rang at 4 in the morning. My wife wanted to kill me. I pick it up. The person was calling me from Chicago. He didn't know I was in Phoenix, so that's fine. It is what it is, but I'm here to help you out, answer any questions, help you with investments. My profile is on the table. There are brochures. If you have some colleagues that you think will be interested, please take any material. If you leave the table clean, I will be very happy. Any questions? Yes.
The ProManage account, in your opinion, because I'm trying to figure out if it's worth the fees that I'm being charged, but it's hard to calculate it on your own. Do you feel it's worthwhile to be in ProManage?
Well,
Or maybe we need to sit down.
I have the same question. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
but I
thinking
mean-
the same thing.
let me give you my personal and professional opinion. At the beginning, it's okay. From my point of view, they tend to emphasize a lot of internationals. Internationals were great before 2008.
Right.
If you had money in international in 2009, 10, and 11, you suffer. Nowadays, probably it's the opposite. Now it's maybe good because the prices are so low that, how low can they go if you have time, right? Portfolios have to be tailored to three things. Your age, because basically when you're going to need this money, how many years do you have until you are going to utilize the funds? The economic environment, and then the most important one, I like to call it the stomach. How much ups and downs you can take. I have clients that are 72 years of age, and they are more aggressive than all of us, multiplied by 100. And they are 72. Why? They are doctors, lawyers. They have $1 million coming to their pocket every year. This is pocket change. On the other hand, I have 25-year-old individuals who are very conservative for whatever reason, inexperience, family experience. So the portfolio has to be tailored to.
But I thought that the ProManage did that tailoring. Looked at
the
my
ProManage-
age, look at my,
Yeah, but the ProManage doesn't know how do you feel
Doesn't
when
know
you
my
see the
stomach.
account going
Okay,
down.
doesn't know my
And that's, to me, is the most important factor. So,
Manage is gonna be more of a steady Eddie. If you wanna dabble a little bit more, and, like you said, if you can stomach more risk, then that might be the opportunity for you to do it yourself. But if you'd like the steady Eddie, and if you're like me and you're lazy and you want somebody else to do it, then
ProManage is a great program for individuals who don't want to get involved.
but I was just
If
concerned
you-
that the fees keep getting higher and higher.
Of course, because the more money you have, this is a percentage, right? The more money you have, the more you pay. Now, I will be happy to sit down with you and I make a portfolio for you.
Okay.
But it takes some commitment from your side. And the commitment is that I like to review my clients at least once a year. At least, depending, right? If you have 10,000, we can do it once a year. If you have 200,000, let's do it more frequently. It has to have some commitment because you need to somehow initiate the contact with me and call me and say, William, please review my account. And we can do it over the phone, fax, emails, but I would be happy to do that. That's my expertise, actually. Okay. Questions?
Would you make house calls?
I'm sorry?
Would you make house calls? If there were lots of us who were interested in meeting with you, would you be willing to come out here again and meet with us?
Yes.
Several people in a day?
Yes, usually I do visit different locations, but I usually try not to go one person, but to see,
Sure.
3, 4 people. That would be that would be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
Okay, and then we could opt out of the ProManage.
It does have. Actually, when you go online, you can opt out immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
ProManage is what we have right now.
If you
ProManage is by default.
yeah.
You are set up by default. Now, you have the ability to say, okay, I don't want it, or even after you opt out, you can join again. That's up to you. But by default, everybody is at the beginning enrolled in ProManage. Yeah. And if I come here, I would love to see new employees. How many new employees do you have here?
About 100, I guess.
New one.
No, those are the total number of employees.
Yeah.
Well, are they eligible? They have to work 20 hours a week.
Well, not all of them, no, maybe.
Part-timers usually
Yeah.
don't, are not eligible.
Right. Right.
But I'm always concerned with young people or people are not doing anything for retirement. Time flies. I can assess of that. So I like to see people putting money away. And when you are 25 years of age and you need this amount of money, it's a very, very good ladder. But if you are 50 and you have to climb that, it's very, very tough, very difficult. So. Share with us. What do you say?
Well, I said if I have to climb a steep ladder, I'd get 50 points because it'd be exercise.
I would do the 50 points anyway. The only thing I think they should pay more for a colonoscopy, I think. You know?
I'm going for the dental.
Yeah, I go for the dental too, yeah.
And the eyes.
Go cavities, right?
My friend turning 50.
Correct. So, any other questions? All right. Who has Roth IRAs here? Very good. Very good. I'm a very,
A question I had.
yeah.
You were talking about the limits of the contributions. Is that both 403B and Roth combined?
No. IRA is separated than this. Roth IRAs.
Okay.
Roth IRAs work that you contribute after taxes. This is before taxes.
Okay.
So every year you have 5,000, and when you reach 50 or more, you can put 6,000.
Okay.
Okay. And here the maximum you can put is if you are younger than 50, 22,500, 17,000. If you are over 50 or 50, 22,500. They are completely independent. Now, traditional IRA, there are different rules in order for you to deduct from your taxes. There's income and the ability to participate in a 403B. So, but that quota of $5,000 or $6,000 is open to you from January 1st to April 15, and if you don't use it, you lose it. It's not cumulative. And the younger you are, the more benefits you obtain from the Roth IRA. Those are no-brainer if you qualify, because they are income constraints, right?
But look where we work.
I'm sorry?
But look where we work.
Well, but it's not just, might be married to a doctor or a lawyer or somebody who makes a lot of money, right? I don't know. And if you are married and you make more than $175,000 combined, you cannot put any money in the Roth. So there are tricks, though. Yeah, there are tricks because now there is no income limit to convert from IRA, traditional IRAs to Roth. So you can put the money into the traditional and then you convert it. So,
Okay, I had that ended.
legally, there is a little hole there that we can move on, but there are limits. Yeah. Anything else? Well, my business card is there. I'm here to help you out with finances. I have a couple of years of experience, so you can pick my brain. If you have a financial advisor, that's fine. I can be your second opinion, right? Just pick my brains. I'm here to help you out, and it doesn't cost you a penny. That's the best part of it. All right? Thank you so much.